remained of the Kennett fortune? Or was he simply so selfish, so completely unable to control his propensity for gambling that it had never even occurred to him? She shut her eyes, her brows knitting together, then shook her head ever so slightly. His hand dropped from her cheek, and something shifted in his manner, a stiffness appearing. "I see. You cannot bring yourself to trust me enough to lay your worries at my feet. Do I have your family to thank for this sudden change?" How was he laying the blame at her door, or her family's? She was not responsible for the situation in which they found themselves. She had wanted their future together as much as he did, but the future they agreed to when they became engaged, it no longer existed, and Mercy had to believe that there was still a bright future for her, much as she wished it could have been with Solomon. "I cannot deny that my parents encouraged me towards this decision. They want what is best for me, of course. But it is nothing against you, Solomon." She reached for his hand. He turned away, rubbing at his chin harshly. "It is not personal." Her voice sounded small and pathetic even to her. "Not personal? We are engaged, Mercy, set to tie ourselves to one another for the rest of our days. How can you claim that this is not personal?" The accusation in his tone raised her hackles, making her feel defensive and misunderstood. "What do you want from me?" she said. "It is not as if I were enjoying this. It is not what I wanted." "Then don't do it." She stared at him, her breath coming quickly. Why must he make it so difficult? It wasn't fair for him to ask such a thing of her. "Come with me. Stay by my side." He didn't reach for her hand this time. He merely entreated her with his soft brown eyes. "Join me in the West Indies, and let me prove myself to you." Her eyes widened. "The West Indies?" His brows knit. "Did you think I had no plan to make back the fortune my father lost? That I would leave it entirely to chance? Or force you to live in penury indefinitely? I have some money left, Mercy, and I am confident that I can multiply it with hard work and determination." He smiled hesitantly. "It will be an adventure." Adventure? That was his plan for regaining his fortune? It was hardly better than the gambling that had lost the fortune in the first place. No, adventure was not at all what she had envisioned for their future together. She had imagined security and comfort, sitting in the parlour of their country house, holding hands while she read a book and he the newspaper, growing old together and leaving their children with that same security and comfort. The West Indies were hot and humid, and she had heard of too many men dying there while making their fortunes. The image struck cold fear into her heart. "I must protect my future," she said almost to herself, feeling a bit more confident in her position. She looked up at him and lifted her shoulders, swallowing. "Even if that future is with someone else." The thought felt wrong to her, but surely that was natural. It was difficult to imagine someone she could love as well as Solomon, but she had known many women who had fallen in love more than once. It likely wouldn't feel real until it happened, until she found that gentleman. But when she did, she was confident that she would be grateful she had not settled for less. Solomon studied her quietly until she shifted under his gaze. "Don't look at me in that way," Mercy said, and the words came out angry. "In what way?" "As though I repulsed you." She fiddled with the finger of her glove. "How can you ask me to continue on as if nothing were different?" He took another step backward, and it cut her, the increased distance between them, and the way it portended a more stark separation. And still his eyes looked upon her with reproach. "In marriage, a husband agrees to stay by his wife, and a wife by her husband through whatever fortune, good or bad, life brings them." "Yes," Mercy said with a bite to her voice, "but normally the bad fortune is a distant possibility rather than an overpowering certainty, the very stage upon which the marriage is set." He looked grave and shook his head. "Perhaps this is for the best after all. I must say I thought better of you than this, Mercy.